Hey folks, it's Scott here with the X-Fed Homestead.
Welcome back to the second part of a two-part series on tucking in your garden for the winter. In part one, you saw how I pulled the last plants out of the garden and then added a little grass and a bunch of chopped up leaves to each row. Then I finished off the rows by adding fresh compost and raking the bed smooth. The final part of preparing the garden for winter will be to do the heavy work of adding wood chips between the rows in the garden. The wood chips will act as a mulch between the rows in order to keep down the weeds next season and add to the organic bulk of the garden.
So that's what I'm going to do today. So let's get to it. Now this pile of wood chips was 6 yards. I put a little dent in it yesterday. I was out here till after dark doing a little shoveling. And right now it's about 36 degrees and I think shoveling this is going to warm me up nicely. I pulled up my new dump trailer here that I hooked up to my John Deere. This was given to me by my buddy Bobby. He had it out in his woods and it had been sitting there for a couple years covered with leaves. And he asked me if I wanted it, and I said sure, and this is the perfect application for it. The buckets help me spread it further away from the cart rather than shoveling it and then trying to throw it and heave it between the rows from a distance. I can take the buckets and spread the wood chips more accurately. So let's start shoveling. Well, my camera ran out of battery, and so I had to let it charge for a while, and now it's getting dark. And of course, I got something else I got to do. So it looks like I got a little bit of a good start on this, and looks like I'll have to finish it up tomorrow. Well, this morning we had a bit of a surprise. That white stuff on the ground is snow. I haven't seen that for a long time. It was just a dusting last night. It's just about freezing, 32 degrees. And so let's get to it. Well, our pile's got a little bit of snow on it, but that's not going to stop us today. I don't know if you can see, but there are already worms in this compost, or in this bark mulch, just hanging out at the bottom of the bark mulch. And there's asphalt underneath here, so they're finding a way to get to it. They love it. And this guy's looking to dig deeper into it. So this is really going to be good on the garden. I hear the chickens clucking like crazy over there, so I'm going to take a chicken therapy break and go see how they're doing. Throw them a little bit of that cracked corn they like, and just spend a minute with the birds. Someone in here sounds pretty proud of themselves. Now I can see these eggs. Take a look. They've rolled down underneath. Oh, there's one there. And that's the first time there's been two over there, although I noticed one Araucana likes to lay over here. So one of the green egg layers. So that's actually working out pretty nicely as time goes on. This bottom rug here is angled upwards, so the egg rolls down it, and against this bumper wall here, there's another piece of carpet there. So I've never had one break in here, and they come out a lot cleaner. That's all right. I'll take that. 7 out of 10 chickens. That's pretty good. That was worth taking a break. Well, I've got 5 out of 6 rows done now here in the garden, and I just have this last one left to complete, which is on the border. You'll see last year I just threw down some 4x4s just in a straight line to make a border. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep that or not, or do something different. I'll keep it for the moment. It seems to be working for me. But when I laid down this garden, I used the no-till method. And the no-till method is when you lay down cardboard on top of grass, then put compost on top of the cardboard, and use wood chips to border it. So that makes the paths in between. So I used that, except I didn't have much cardboard. So I was a little thin on cardboard. And what the cardboard does is suppresses the weeds and doesn't allow light to get into the weeds so they can grow. So since I was thin on cardboard, I did get some weeds growing up along this first row here, right here. You can see that? And so I'm going to go back. I'm going to put down some more cardboard, and then I'm going to put my wood chips on top of it. And that's just for this first row here. In addition, I'm going to cover it in the spring. The weeds will start to grow in the spring. Those weed seeds that are in here and have blown in here from all over during the course of the last couple months, those will grow in the spring, and then I'll cover it with a big tarp. It'll cover the whole thing and block the sunlight and the water from hitting those weeds, and they'll die in place and just basically add to the nutrients in the soil. And when I take that tarp off, it'll be ready to plant, and I know there'll be no weed seeds to compete. So very simple, organic kind of way of gardening. So between that and the no-till system, that's what I've been using the last couple of years. And no-tilling means you don't break your back when you're trying to dig up the soil if you don't have a rototiller. So that all seems to work for me. So I got to get some cardboard that I've been saving just for this purpose and get it done before it snows again. Here's a cardboard I have. I've been saving it for a while. I've taken all the tape off it as much as I can. If you get a little tape on it, it's going to be fine. You're going to find it once it rots into the ground, the tape won't rot. So when you're raking up your garden, you'll find pieces of tape. Just collect them. Do the best you can with this kind of thing. You don't have to be perfect, but it'll all be okay. looks like I have enough cardboard, which is great. I'll just start pouring wood chips on there and we'll be done with this project. So it's looking good and it'll be ready for spring. I think I can do away with the buckets now since I'm right on the edge here. I'll just shovel it into the back of the wagon there and then just shovel it right onto this path here. I don't know if you can see this. Down there at the bottom of the pile is dry wood chips, and you can see the strata where the rain, once the tarp ripped and the rain came through, it just drenched the top of this. And it really helped it break down, which isn't exactly what I wanted, but oh well, what are you gonna do? It's gonna break down out there. It started breaking down over here, but the light wood chips down there, so much lighter to lift. And I'm getting a much better workout with these wood chips that are wet up top. And I'm always saying I want a good workout to try to stay in shape in retirement. But tonight's my night for the gym. And it's going to be a tough one after this day. Now, running a small homestead like this, there's no big bucket loader or 4x4 helping me out. Most of it's just what I can do and what I can lift, so you got to plan those jobs accordingly. And if you've got a small place that you're looking at, that's what you have to do. You see a lot of these homesteading channels are about huge properties with tractors and dump trucks and lots of cows, but some of us, we're just trying to do what we can do. A little gardening, a little chicken over there in the chicken tractor in the coop, and we try to get along as best we can, and it's fun. But again, you got to muscle it sometimes and plan the job accordingly to how much muscle you got left in you. Well, I think that's where I'll end it today. I'm going to go get one more load and finish covering this and finish the job, even if it gets a little dark. Sun's going down, and you can see it's actually over the trees. Pretty nice sunset tonight. I hope you enjoyed this quick video series on tucking in your garden. I hope you learned something about it. The way I do it is I take my plants out, I put a little grass on there, not too much, bunch of leaves all chopped up, even better, and then fresh compost. And it really makes for a beautiful garden for the spring. So I put wood chips in between all of the rows. That'll keep the weeds down, and it also helps to build the soil. You'll dig down there next year and you'll see under the ground there's some really nice dirt down there that's being composted all year long. So that's a really great thing about wood chips. It adds to your carbon load and adds to the nutrients that are in your soil for your garden. So anyway, hope you learned something. This is Scott at the XFed Homestead. We'll see you next time.